Excellent. I'd like talking about TFT. TFT coming up. Now listen, I'm serious about this, okay? Rather that, or I should say, all seriousness aside. TFT is our abbreviation for our 2-day class, which is entitled, much to the consternation of the people who work with NLP Marin, who have to keep explaining that it's not what it sounds like. The class is called The First Thing, TFT. And it sounds like it's an introductory course. It's 2 days. It's coming up. It is not an introductory course. I called it The First Thing when it kind of came through as Carla and I were talking about some stuff one time. Because it's the first thing that any human being should be taught when they physically incarnate and they get themselves a brain and a nervous system and a body. It's the first thing they should be taught. It's the first thing we need to understand and work with. It's not complicated, but it is sea to shining sea wide. It is, Betsy described it really nicely the other day. It kind of sits in between, if our hollow material where we go non-local and very woo-woo, and we're not using like Newtonian, squeeze this and change your neurochemistry there and take that, in hollow we work outside of space and time in hollow, not exclusive. We don't do that exclusively in hollow, but it's one of the main things hollow offers that Masters doesn't yet. So the first thing is in between that non-local outside space-time hollow frame and the kind of brain and body-based toolbox that Core and Masters is. So if this is Core and Masters, and up here is hollow, the first thing kind of wiggles here in between. And it uses our NLP toolbox, but it uses our NLP toolbox to very directly work with and keep working with for 2 days one of the most subtle and non-local tools we have, what we call a maneuver of consciousness, right? And Carly, you want to say something about how someone if you're an old timer, you just come work an issue. And if you're a newbie,
We set it up. So many of the courses that we teach are about how to program, how to work with somebody else. This is about working with yourself. And you can apply it to others. But the idea was for new people to get some immediately useful tools and for our graduates to be able to come in with an issue of some kind and to work with it the whole weekend. So often we get, like a 45-minute practice session to work on something, and that's it. And it's, although we teach elements of it in hollow, it is not the same because in hollow, we're learning how to use it with other people and to take the time to actually really apply it to yourself and step through each of the pieces individually, kind of gets it in the muscle and gets it to be something that you can apply pretty much everywhere in your life as you need it and want it. And this is the course that a lot of our graduates were telling us was incredibly helpful for them. We heard it more at the beginning of the pandemic, but we have heard it many times since then that as different things are happening, that this is still the tool that they're going to reach down to for most stuff, at least in the beginning.
Yeah. It's part of everything we do, but it's the part of everything we do that we don't ever show or talk about.
We never isolate it.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
It's like it won't be unfamiliar if you've been through our courses, but we never isolate it to just like stay with it. And as in all of the skills that we've done, that we teach, there's a simplicity to a lot of the skills that we don't spend much time with, But if you actually were to take the time with the skills, there's a real depth that you can go into. This is one of those opportunities to take something kind of a lot deeper, and to kind of feel the power that this particular skill set has for moving things for people.